we've created our project, we've taken in the data. The next step then is to start work on building our actual model that will model water flow. What does that mean? Let's have a look. So we've done all this, we've got through here, we've made the styling of our map, our background map, and now we're going to use a tool called Model Builder to bring in a whole load of tools, link them together, and build a workflow that will model water flow. Yeah, so we're going to use Model Builder to build a model that uses the terrain model to model the flow of water, and we'll do that using a workflow to model the flow of water. The words and the terms here, they're going to get really quite confusing. I'll try to be as clear as possible what I mean when I'm talking about these things. So this is what it will end up looking like, the Model Builder model, our workflow, all the tools that we bring in and all the files that we will be using. But to get there, obviously, this is going to require a few steps. So the first thing to do is to open up the Model Builder. And let me see, we can go to Model Builder. Where do we find that? Somewhere. Insert analysis. Let's go to analysis. That was it. Will make sense. Model Builder. There we go. So here we've opened up our Model Builder, and the first thing we need to do is to work with some data. So if we take this, our DEM there, and we drag it in, we get a blue circle. We started on that thing. There we are. That's the first step. The next step, if we think back, was to fill the DEM. So we get rid of these sinks. We don't want the sinks. We want to fill them up. So we can go to geoprocessing if we want, and then we go fill, and we'll fill, and then cut fill zone. But there's lots of fills. Spatial analysis of fill sinks in a surface raster. Well, that sounds good. We can drag that in to there. You just put it in. Right. Okay. So now we need to somehow tell this to take that and do something with it. We can just do that. Put a line over, and it's the input surface raster. And that's nice and colourful. What we get then is this. This tool is going to take that file, and it's going to output a raster. And at the moment, it's just, if we put the mouse pointer over this, show that again, we can see it's going to the database, and it's going to be called filltif1, which is not ideal, because we want to know what it actually is. So I suggest that we change it to filldem or something like that. I think filldem is probably the best. So we click on that, we right click on it, we take open, and then we click there, and it's going to go into our database, and we are going to call it filldem. Save. Okay. So now let's just quickly save that. So that's now saved. Good. So we've started. We've managed to take in our DEM, and we're creating a filled DEM. And then not much else is happening. The next step is to take that fill DEM, and we want to implement the flow direction. If you remember, the first part of the analysis was to work out which direction the water will flow. So you need to look for this tool called flow direction. We can do the same thing again. We go to geoprocessing, or alternatively, we could just go to tools up here, and we go flow and direction. Click on that, and we get our flow direction come in. Now this consists of three parts. We have the tool itself, which is this square thing, and then there are two outputs. But let's first of all just start by dragging that line to there, and that's our input surface raster. Good. It knows what to do now. It's going to fill that. It's going to take it's going to take the fill DEM and work out which way things are going to flow. We also want that to have a better name than output flow direction raster. And what did I suggest in the instructions? Because let's be consistent here. We want to call it something output as flow direction. Good. Yep, that makes kind of sense. So let's do that. and this is set to the database there, so we can actually just flow direction. Okay. So, and what's this output drop raster? We'll skip that for now. If you want, you can try. If you want, you can try and look it up. If we click on open, the properties, no, there's no help available there. So where would we find help? Well, if we go to flow direction, click on there, click on open, and then we can click there on that question mark sign, and then we get up the flow direction spatial analysis, and we get some help on it, and we can find out what the different parts are, and we can work out, reading all of this, there's quite a lot to read, what the different parts are. I'll leave that up to you, but that was simply by going to the tool here, clicking on the help button, and then you get up some basic information on help, or actually if you click on the link you get some really rather detailed information. So that is the next step in our hydrological model. We've managed to get this far along in the accumulation, and we're not bothering with this output. We can see that there are some settings here. We should probably look at those. It's all standard. We don't want to bother with the drop raster. We can find out, drops the raster, returns the ratio. It doesn't matter. We go into our force direction, force all edge shells to flow outwards. No, we don't want that. Flow direction type is D8. That's that model we spoke of. So we click on OK there. And then we save our model. And I think for the purposes of this video, we'll stop right there and then continue with another video afterwards, so this doesn't get too long.